Hi, welcome. Welcome to the psychological talk and all that. This late night talk. And I just realized something about my life. And it's something that I would like to share with y'all. I thought it would be scripted, on paper and I just read it. But nah, I think this is way better because I can connect everything in my hand, just get it out, express myself. So, as you've seen in the title, it's pretty much what you expect, but I'm gonna tell you my story and, not getting too much in details, but I would like to use them as reference. So, it's been pretty much like 10 years before I realized something about my family, and not just my family, but just people behavior in general in this great neighborhood that would never eat you up or eat your life or turn you. Yeah, definitely not. Wing. But that's not the point. I've been taught as a child, ever since I was a child, that I need to keep myself quiet. I was like, oh, okay. It become like a traditional thing, Don't talk back to the adult. Don't defy the adult, the people that raise us and people that is friend with other adult, your aunt, your uncle, your grandparents, your mom's friend, all that. It's very, I would say, it's very common in Southeast Asia and pretty much just Asia in general. Asian parents are like that. They're very traditional, and mine is a bit different, but it's still tied to that enigma of being, talkative and expressive, and you get in trouble with the kind of person that they teach you not to disobey or outright, defy them. And it's been like that for a little while, and then I start to, as a teen, when you turn teenager, right? You turn to teenagers, you start to see the pattern, right? But you don't really connect it yet. You kind of just save it for later. And I saw it a little bit, and I was like, I want to defy this. So I defy. I don't want to listen to my mother talk about, what I should be doing. I don't want to listen to my teacher about what I should be reading, writing, or doing in my class, well, their class. But perspective sake, I don't want my grandparents I don't want my grandparent to tell my mother or father to decide a fate for me in school or just in life in general. I want to speak up, and when I try to speak up, every single time I try to speak up, I get shut down very quickly. And the last time it happened is not even like that far, like that long ago. It was just a couple of days ago. And I find it really fascinating and also really curious and dangerous because all they taught me have led me this far. And I, like hindsight, right? In hindsight, you see 2020. And in hindsight, you just see that every single moment that built up to this could just be solved with just like a small talk, like a small nudge. You just nudge thing and you talk about it, and maybe it's not a problem anymore. But that's not what happened. What happened was something happens and you don't talk about it with someone someone you love, because you thought it would hurt them. You love them, so you don't want to hurt them, right? But in the long term, in reality, in what I realized, you need to talk, otherwise they're just gonna be in the dark forever. And that is worse than actually talking about it and bring it up. And I think this can apply to just anyone, not just Asian people. We need to be heard. We need to be, people need to listen to us, or just hear our side of story instead of dismissing us of said point. So the older I become, the more mature I get, right? And finally, people are starting to listen to me and actually heed to my advice. That quiet and silence is not the answer, and we need to speak up about something. Otherwise, it's gonna be the same thing forever for generation. That's I dropped the title of the video for generations. It's been like that because it's built as a survival mechanic. If you can't get along with other people in the circle, maybe in the local neighborhood or your family group, your circle of family or friends, people would just kind of fake their own feeling. They don't express it very well. They don't really define other people. They don't disagree. They just kind of nod and accept it as their fate. Because if you try to become different, you are not part of the flock, and they kick you out. They cast you out. I'm not trying to say society or something like that, but it is like that. At least in my experience, and I hope nobody get to live through this and realize it too late. I guess my mother can be a prime example, but yeah, she realized it now. I help her realize it, and I'm a very pragmatic person. I don't know what that means in full, but I see the pattern. I see how it goes. I see how it leads to what it leads to, and I don't want them to make the same mistake again. I want people to be better, so I speak up. And does things change? Well, a little bit. I don't have the full control. That's not the kind of role I would play. I play the role of an advisor, sometimes an enforcer of rules or laws, but never a manipulator or controller. I want people to make choices by themselves, and those people need to mature in order to make that decision by themselves. And I guess overall, I just want people to mature and learn from their past mistake, rather than seeing it and, oh, I make a mistake, I better not talk about it to other people. I make a lot of mistakes in my life. To get this far, I make a lot of mistakes and I learn from those mistakes. I don't just brush it off. But some people just can't bring that up in a circle of friends or family as they know it, because in reality, the only real friend and real family you have is the one that you can talk about it, and they don't push you down. They don't push you on the ground. They don't kick sand into your face. They're there for you. And I want people to have that kind of support too. The family is not that kind of mess, but I might exaggerate things a bit. But that's how it goes for my family and my personal experience. And things will change. I promise you. Things will change. Maybe the older generation was using it as a survival mechanic, like I said, just to keep your head on the shoulder, over the shoulder. Because if you do something different, you're gonna get rejected by the group that you're with. And that tells you a lot of things. Like if your family is not on your side or supportive of you, then they're not your family. They're just strangers. If they demand something from you and you can't say no, that's just fucked up. That's abuse. That's an abusement. So if you ever hurt someone that claim to be my relative or whatever, unless I mention them in my video or in my stream, they're not my family. If they want attention from my fame or stuff like that, they're not my family, because a family wouldn't do that. Anyway, I want to talk about that. It's just a little bit because I got annoyed by myself, by the idea that I have to be quiet and silent throughout my life, and now I'm doing the opposite. I'm speaking out for people. Hooray, just good job, Chanai. But seriously, I want to speak up and have people realize that there are better ways to do things. You don't have to just stay still and letting that passed down through generation. The new generation need to be better than us, not worse. So we shouldn't teach them things that we would otherwise regret of doing it on ourselves. Or maybe I just live in a den of snakes. Everyone is out to get me. Who knows? But yeah, I think I'll end it here. If you like this video, you can like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to support me, there's a link below on Patreon and Ko-fi. I just go off like this for entertainment and education. I have another story to tell you later. It's gonna be a scripted one. It's gonna be a scripted one, so it's gonna take some time. Anyway, I'll be seeing you. Ciao. No, that's not good enough. Ciao.